Hi, boys and girls, welcome back. So, yesterday, let's recap what we did yesterday. So, yesterday we read this section and we learned a lot of different information about sharks and how they're different from fish in the ocean. And we came up with a title to chapter title based on what we've read. So, today we're going to continue the same work, but we're going to read another section, a new section, okay? And this one also does not have a chapter heading. But we as nonfiction readers, we annotate, we think about what we're reading, what the author is teaching us. And then we come up with that information. All right, so here we go. I'm noticing that in the picture, excuse me, there are a bunch of different sharks in the bottom of the ocean, okay? Now, let's read to find out more information. Most sharks are cold-blooded. This means that the temperature of the shark's body depends on the temperature of the water around it. So now I'm thinking, oh, so if the water is warm, the shark's body will be warm. If the water is cold, the shark's body will be cold, the temperature in their body. Most sharks live in temperature or tropical ocean waters, while only some inhabit the colder polar seas. One way scientists categorize sharks is by the temperature of the water in which they live. So let's pause here and let's jot what we're learning so far. So in paragraph 1, right, we are learning that a shark's body temperature is dependent on the temperature of the water around them, right? Now let's think. We are also learning that sharks are cold-blooded because of their body temperature, changing body temperature, or cold-blooded because of their body's ability to change temperature depending on the water they are around. Wow, that's really good information, right? So let's annotate. So I'm going to annotate some important details. Sharks are cold-blooded, so this is like a key word. And that means, the author told me what that means, right? That means the temperature of a shark's body depends on the temperature of the water around it. Most sharks live in temperature of tropical ocean waters. So most sharks, they live in tropical ocean waters, while some inhabit, here's a key word, the colder polar seas. That means their body their body gets used to the colder polar seas. One way scientists categorize sharks is by the temperature of the water in which they live. So scientists categorize sharks by the temperature of the water in which they live. All right, let's continue reading. Different kinds of sharks are adapted to different temperatures. Okay, so as the water temperature changes with the seasons, many sharks migrate. Wow, big key word. Does anybody remember what this word migrate means? Let's read on to see if the author is going to give us some information. For example, sharks that live in the northern hemisphere may travel farther north in the summer to find cooler water and travel south towards warmer water in the winter. Wow, so the author just gave us some information about a key word. Migrate. Migrate means that what? Sharks travel from one area of the ocean to another area of the ocean in search for what? For warmer temperatures. So basically migrating is traveling, right? And in this section, we just learned that migrating means when sharks travel from one area of the ocean to another area of the ocean in search for warmer temperatures, right? So let's annotate here. I'm going to use a different color. So different kinds of sharks adapt. That means their body gets used to different temperatures. So when the water temperature changes with the seasons, many sharks migrate. So because their body's used to a specific temperature, they migrate to get used to get comfortable in that temperature. For example, sharks that live in the northern hemisphere travel farther north in the summer to find cooler water and travel south towards warmer water in the winter. So they, in the summer, because it's hot, they go and find cooler water. And then this winter, when it's cold, they go to find water, warmer water. So that's very important information here. Let's keep reading to see if I have to annotate some more. Some sharks travel great distances. So that means they travel what? Pretty far, right? Distances being a long way. One blue shark, like the one shown here. So now we know that the blue shark is shown in the picture. So I'm going to draw an arrow to this shark to show that this is the blue shark the author is talking about. Was tagged in the waters off New York City. Wow, in the city we live in. And then found months later off the coast of Brazil, 3,700 miles. So here, the author is teaching us, right? In paragraph 3, the author is teaching us that sharks travel long distances within the ocean. One detail is that the blue shark in the picture, the photo, was tagged. That means he was specifically identified and then tagged. Remember how we learned in the other books they put like radio signals on the shark and staple it to their fins to see where they're traveling? Was tagged in New York City and then was found months later off the coast of Brazil. 3,700 miles away. It's very far. So here we learned about how far, or the distances of how far some sharks may travel. Here we learn that sharks adapt to different temperatures of the water, right? And they migrate in search of that temperature of water. And then here we learned that sharks are cold-blooded and their body changes depending on the temperature of the water. Wow, so these all connect. But one thing I want you to notice, that the last paragraph, paragraph 3, connects very much to the photo, right? Why specifically? Because the author identified the type of shark, told us in the paragraph, the one tagged here, to show that sharks do travel pretty far. So let's think of a title for this section. Okay, I'm going to give you about a minute. Think of a good title for this section. Okay. I have a good one in my mind. Let's see if we all agree. Give you about a minute. Twenty seconds. All right, what's a good title for this section, you think? What are you thinking? I'm thinking, how about Cold-Blooded Travelers, right? Yeah, I think that's a good one. Cold-Blooded Travelers. Yeah, Cold-Blooded Travelers. I think that's a really good one. One, because we're learning that sharks are cold-blooded depending on the temperature of the water. And we also learned that they migrate and travel great distances over time, right? Excellent, boys and girls. Today was a great session. Thank you for tuning in. Today we broke down and annotated each paragraph. We wrote what we learned in each paragraph. Then we made some connections to the photo and then talked about how those connections are apparent. Alrighty, boys and girls, have a good afternoon. Bye.